If you play A major like this, or this, you're missing out. Keep watching and I'll show you why and what to do about it. Chords exist in context. Am I right? We typically don't have a song that consists of a single chord because that would be boring. Don't believe me? Check out this one chord song my buddy Dan wrote the day he started learning to play the guitar. D is for Dan, Dan is the man, Dan, Dan, Dan. Yeah, more than one chord would probably be good. So if we want to play chords well in context, this begs the question, do guitar chord fingerings really matter? Let's find out. I'm going to list 3 major keys that are pretty common with guitar players. The keys of A, E, and D major. Which chord do all of these keys have in common? The A major chord. In the key of A, the A chord is the tonic, the 1 chord. In the key of E, the A chord is the subdominant, the major 4 chord. And in the key of D, the A chord is the dominant, the major 5 chord. It's a pretty widely used chord, and yet a lot of guitar players are really making more work for themselves with the fingerings they use. Now, when we fret a note, it's best to press down as close to the fret as we can for a clean articulation. Unfortunately, some of the guitar educational materials I've come across teach the A chord with fingers 1, 2, and 3 in a row. Given what I just shared about playing close to the fret, what do you observe? There's not quite enough room for these adjacent fingers to be well situated on the 2nd fret. Even if we slightly adjust to fingers 2, 3, and 4, the situation is not improved by much. So what do? For almost 30 years, I have taken the approach I'm about to show you, and it is truly a game changer. And it's actually really simple. Check it out. I use fingers 2, 1, and then 3. A better way to get situated is to place fingers 2 and 3 on the 2nd fret like you're voicing an open A7 chord, and then drop in the 1st finger, wedging it right between those other 2 fingers. Again, not all 3 notes will be right up next to the fret, but this is still a vast improvement to what we had before. Remember, even if a finger is not right next to the fret, it can still sound clean. It just needs to press harder the further it is away from the fret. So now that you've been exposed to this new fingering for the open A major chord, what can I do to validate its usefulness? That's right, I'm going to place it in context. Remember how we talked about the keys of A, E, and D? Let's say I wanted to move from A to E and back, whether that's in the key of A or the key of E. Both scenarios apply here. Watch what happens if I use the old A chord. If I start with the less optimal fingering, I have to lift all 3 fingers to move to the E chord. Then when I go back, I again have to lift all 3 fingers. Doable, but not ideal. What if I tried our new and improved fingering? Watch the economy of movement here. The 1st finger stays on the 3rd string and provides an anchor point because although it slides down a single fret, it doesn't have to be lifted from the string. Way better. Okay, how about the transition from A to D and back? Here's our old A chord, and even though I do have something of an anchor note on the 2nd string with my 3rd finger, the other 2 fingers have to relocate entirely. Here I go, from A to D, and then from D back to A. It works, but is there a better way? Yep, our new way. Here's the new A chord, and watch with delight as only 1 finger needs to lift up to relocate as the other 2 fingers provide anchor points. We can go from A to D, and we can go back from D to A. So not only is it a cleaner articulation to play A major this way, we have a much cleaner transition to and from a couple very closely related chords. So yes, I believe guitar chord fingerings do matter. This may be significant to you or it may not, but if we're going to play this chord a few thousand times in our lifetime, wouldn't it be better to play it more effectively? And wouldn't it be nice to gain even more visual independence from this chord in context? Hopefully this gave you a window into my approach for teaching the guitar and how I like to zoom in for more precision and artistry, which enhances our musicianship and just helps us play better. And if you want to play better and you're looking for a fresh approach to the guitar with all kinds of helpful tools and a Christ-honoring community, you just found it. It's called Guitar Success for You. And although it's not for everyone, it might be for you. Find out by visiting guitarsuccessforyou.com. I hope to see you inside the membership. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.